they talking real loud, spreading no lie, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no lie, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud, spreading no lie, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Propaganda swirling, but it won't touch me. Only love around, that's how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules in this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In the heart of the struggle, we dare to dream.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamin. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Now, I told you all I was coming back. I know y'all thought the Queen had lied, honey, okay, because it's been a while. But nonetheless, I got caught up running errands and doing all this other stuff. So here I am and here we are. So let's get ready to get into it. Everybody, please like and share this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so let's get into it. And whoever doesn't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do, okay? All right, we don't have time for trolls. All right, hey, Panther Strike, Reggie's in the house, Star Child, Pearly, Deronda. All right, let's get into it, Lillian X. Okay, shout out to all my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. Y'all know I love me some royals. And shout out to my moderators putting in work. Okay, Nandy is here. Magika Melanin 777. I hope I said your name right, beloved. Okay, so with that all being said, Reg said if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, exit stage left. You already know. Okay, Troy Parker said intro fire. Thank you, beloved. She Brew is here. Deronda. All right, Gwendolyn. Okay, so let's get this party started. Okay, hey Mel. All right, everybody. Hey D Major. Everybody hit the like button. Okay, before we get started, let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. All right, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Right. So that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes oil for your hair at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. And also you can purchase it at Walmart.com. Okay. So with that all being said, honey, we have got to talk about all this crazy stuff Trump's got going on. So let's get ready to get into it. Hold on one second. Okay, so now let's get into it because I told you all this morning that basically Trump had a judge arrested. They accused this woman of supposedly trying to hold on, I'm getting one more receipt real quick. Here it goes. Okay, so they basically accused this woman of trying to help an immigrant escape, okay, who was supposedly doing court that day for domestic violence or something like that. And I want you all to pay attention because here's the thing. When Trump is doing all this BS, what he's hoping, him and his idiots that are working with him, okay, what he's hoping is that in fact, hold on, beloveds. So what he's hoping is that in fact, their talking points when they let you know that, oh, these people are in court because they've committed a crime or whatever, they shouldn't be here anyway. Why would we want them here? They want you to condone this. Okay, they want you to condone the lack of due process and them stealing these people's rights. But like I told you, if Trump can do this to them, he can do it to us too. Okay, and any citizen. And also there was a senator, I believe, or maybe it was a news broadcaster. I can't remember. I think it was a senator that said that this is very dangerous. I think I showed you all the footage where he said this is dangerous. And then he said the same thing that I've been telling you, okay, for weeks, that if Trump gets away with this stuff, sending Abrego Garcia over there and not returning him as he's been instructed by a federal judge to do. Okay, he was held in contempt. He still doesn't care. Now, with that all been said, he says that he could send American citizens over there and his rivals, and he absolutely can. Now, y'all thought I didn't know what I was talking about, honey, but now you have a whole senator saying the same thing. Okay, so what are y'all thinking? Okay, when y'all sitting up here, some of y'all talking about, oh, we shouldn't be worried about the immigrants. Honey, you better be worried about yourself. Okay, because you could be next. And if they locked up a white female judge, what do you think they'll do to the queen, honey? Please pay attention. This is all bad. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how Trump's ridiculous immigration crackdown is costing billions. We're going to talk about how Trump, please pay attention. We're going to talk about how Trump wants to have the African president, okay, of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore. He wants to have this man arrested, okay? Why does he want to have this man arrested? Because this man ain't playing no games. He's not letting the Westerners come up there and colonize and just run stuff, okay? He already had it out with Macron from France and all of this, and now Macron and Trump think they're going to bully him. But let me tell y'all something, okay? I just got word on the curb, honey, right before I started this live, that North Korea has vowed to defend him if the U.S. wants to get jiggy with it, okay? If the U.S. wants to start some mess, they're going to be in for it, baby, because North Korea has already said that they have his back. And if Trump thinks Putin is his friend, he better sit back somewhere because Putin and Traore, they have some relations too. Okay, so with that all being said, all I'm saying is Trump, try it if you want to. See how that works out for you. Okay, see how that works out for you. I keep telling y'all, Trump's going to have us up in World War III. Okay, he's pissing off the wrong people. He's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Do we really want smoke with North Korea? I don't think we do. And I know darn well Trump doesn't with his little whack arse administration. Okay, so we're getting into all of that We'll get into all of that. But before we do, I thought I need to let you all know about this, okay? Because, you know, I saw a couple of people in here were asking me about the Pope and this, that, and the third. And I showed y'all the video where they didn't want to let some Black people in there. And then also there's a video floating around where supposedly, now I didn't see this video or I would have had it to show you guys, but there's a video supposedly floating around where they had the cardinals all lined up and, you know, they were going through and they were kissing their hands and all that or whatever. When they got to the Black one, they didn't kiss his hand under. I think they didn't even shake it from what I was told. So I just want you all to pay attention. These people be racist. Okay, they don't even like y'all and y'all be worried about them. Okay, that's all I'm saying, honey. Y'all, some of y'all need to wake up. And I'm going to show you all something that you clearly need to see. Okay, because please let this marinate on this and let it sink in. Hold on for a second. I mean, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but sometimes our people need to wake the hell up. Okay, point blank and serious. Okay, I'm going to share my screen now. This is a video. This video, Truth Brown said J.D. Vance scared the Pope to death. Is that what he did? Now, with that all been said, I'm about to share this video, and I want you all to see this. Now, I know what you're about to see is going to look like it is the KKK, but it is not. Okay, it is absolutely not. Okay, these are the Catholics' costumes when they're having this little shindig. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna share my screen now. Please pay attention. Okay, I just want y'all to pay attention, honey, because the devil is a lie and so are they. Okay, now the person who initially posted this is what they said. They said, are you awake yet? This is a cult. I was raised as a Catholic until God opened my eyes. That's what they said. Now, that's their opinion. I don't know anything about the Catholic organization because I have never been one. Now, but here's what I said. I said, this doesn't look like the KKK to y'all Black people. What's the difference? The Ku Klux Klan is registered as a Christian organization in the United States, which is the main reason why I'm not a brainwashed Christian. Okay, they also look like Satanists. Oh, yeah, they do. That's exactly what they look like. Okay, please pay attention. Y'all scared yet? All right, y'all see that, honey? Please make it all make sense. Please make it all make sense, okay? Truth Brown said, yes, Queen, I saw this. I thought Trump had passed away. You thought that was the Klan, honey? Okay, with that all being said, Shebrew said Kanye where? Okay, is that where Kanye got his outfit from with his silly self? All right, so anyway, but hold on. Let's go to the this clip of the Pope's funeral. Lights up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Roots, and literally in some cases standing on, it looks like standing on boxes, reaching deep into the crowd as the people come toward the fences that is holding them back to receive the communion.
And you saw that moment, Anderson, when Cardinal Ray held up the host of the Eucharist and there was absolute silence except for the bell. And again, when he held up the chalice. Yes. Profoundly moving moment, even for those who are not Catholics.
I see a number of nuns reaching out to a priest to bring the communion so they can take communion as well.
I can see out of the corner of my eye one nun standing with her hands clasped in prayer, with tears in her eyes. For so many of those gathered here today, this is a profoundly solemn, moving, in contrast to some of the crowds that we've seen before in the run-up to this.
I've never seen it at such a large gathering as this, where there are many police, security personnel. I see there's soldiers walking around with weaponry.
Some with anti-drone guns.
Anti-drone guns, which are quite startling to see up close. To also see priests handing out communion.
All right, so there y'all saw it, okay? Y'all saw what's going down. Anyway, honey. I'm sorry, but it's all scary to me, okay? It's all scary to me. Now, We Next AKDSB just gifted 2 memberships. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. There's the second one. You all shout him out for gifting these memberships. All right, we really appreciate you, beloved, okay? Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so now here's the thing. Let me pull this up real quick. So, you know, those outfits do look like the Klan. Okay, they just do. Hold on, let me go to something else real quick. Hold on, we're going to get into Trump in a minute. Now, here's the thing. This is them on Easter, when they're having their Easter celebration. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, here we go. All right, I see I got a few more moderators popping in. Okay, y'all see this? Look at these outfits. Say what now? This all looks like some satanic BS. I'm sorry, it's true. Okay, look at it. Easter costumes, Spain and its origin. Okay, look at that. This is what they wear. Honey, that looks like a nightmare on Elm Street as far as I'm concerned. Okay, it's nothing that I want to attend. It's all I'm saying. Okay, miss me with it, honey. All right, so that's how that goes. So, do y'all see why I wasn't interested in any of that stuff that some of y'all was asking me about, honey, please? Now, with that all being said, here's the, they said Holy Week. These penitents have nothing to do with the KKK. To American eyes, Holy Week's robes and tall pointy hats with eye holes are shockingly familiar. They look just like those worn by the Ku Klux Klan. Yeah, they absolutely do. Thank you for telling us. The week leading up to Easter is celebrated by Christians around the world to remember the final days of Jesus Christ. In Spain, Holy Week, or Semana Santa, as they call it, is the most important religious period of the year. Towns and cities across the country hold solemn processions in which religious sculptures are carried around the streets, accompanied by marching bands and mysterious hooded figures. To American eyes, their matching robes and tall pointy hats with eye holes are shockingly familiar. They look just like the Ku Klux Klan robes. Although some have theorized that someone in the Klan may have seen a Spanish parade and copied the outfits, there's no known connection. However, both robes are worn for the same purpose, disguise. Okay, though for very different reasons. Participants in Holy Week's processions traditionally keep their faces hidden that they can publicly show penance for their sins while keeping their identity secret. Oh, really? Well, here's the thing about that. Okay, that kind of makes sense to me. But the bottom line is, honey, if I was in a religion where the costumes that we had to wear on Easter Sunday look like the same ones that the KKK wears, yeah, I would have to change outfits. Okay, I'd have to change it. I'd have to break away from tradition and just do something different. Okay, if you catch my drift. Because this is all nefarious. Let me just show y'all this right quick. I mean, that's just me. Okay, look at that. That's the Klan. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. No, it isn't. Lord, I got it mixed up. That's them, honey. They even got the all white ones, honey. Holy Week. These Spanish penitents have nothing to do with the KKK. That's them. I'm sorry. I thought that was the Klan. Okay, but anyway, and here they go again with more with different colors, honey. Okay, looking like the Grand Dragons, if you ask the Queen. Right. So anyway, honey, I just want to give y'all this little brief history lesson. Don't say I never told y'all nothing. Okay, so anyway, but let me finish this out real quick. So they want to keep their identity a secret, you know, because they want to give penance for their sins. Okay, well, God sees you anyway, with or without the robes. So who are you really hiding from? Okay, and where the Klan's robes are always white, Holy Week's capirotes, I hope I said that right, come in a range of colors depending on which religious brotherhood the wearer is a member of. Spanish cities usually have several different brotherhoods, often dating back to the Middle Ages. Holy Week processions vary from religion to religion. Those in the South are lively affairs accompanied by marching bands, while northern cities see more somber parades. Processions start on Palm Sunday and continue until Easter Sunday, with the most solemn on Maundy, Thursday. In this gallery, Newsweek looks at processions in several cities around Spain at the start of Holy Week. Okay, well, there you have it, okay? There y'all have it. And I thought that was all crazy. Okay, DSB just gifted another membership to the channel. Thank you again, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay, so now let's talk about this judge that got arrested. Judge Hannah Dugan was minding her own business. Okay, but here's the thing. Now, in all actuality, Judge Hannah Dugan, she probably did try to help this man out, tell him to go through the back door or something. And I don't blame her, because here's why. I want you all to pay attention to the nefariousness of it all. So Trump and his rogue administration think that they're just going to be popping up in courts when these people have hearings and conduct stings. Okay, conduct full-on sting operations in the courts. But at the end of the day, the judge wasn't having it. And I don't blame her, because this is all just turned into a fiasco, okay? Turning it into a darn fiasco. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 gifted memberships, okay? Are y'all paying attention? Thank you, TC Dan. I appreciate you, beloved. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, so we got 5 gifted memberships. 4 from We Next, aka DSB. 1 from TC Dan, or yeah, I think I counted right. Okay, so with that all being said, thank you, beloveds. Okay, now let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Had the poor judge arrested. Hold on. As a matter of fact, before we talk about the judge, let's get into what is the human cost of Trump's immigration crackdown. Okay, let's talk about it, because this came out yesterday. So a student arrested in the street for accusing Israel of genocide, a father of an autistic son deported by mistake, only for the authorities to say there was no way to bring him back. Tourist held in solitary confinement with no explanation. Now I want y'all to think about this. Tourist, people who came here to visit and have a good time, held in solitary confinement with no explanation. A scientist expelled from daring to be critical of Donald Trump. So they expelled a darn scientist. And so basically, you can't say anything bad about Trump. You can't say anything bad about him, or else. This is how it's going. Now, as the consequences of the White House's hardline immigration policies unfold, they increasingly look like the behavior of a police state. That's exactly what it is. They're going to declare martial law at some point and just start shipping people over to El Salvador if we aren't careful. They say the lawlessness is the point. Okay, and that's what I told y'all. Do y'all remember that video I did about a couple of months ago when I said Trump is a man of lawlessness? Okay, that the Bible speaks against. Okay, anyway, this is what Greg Sargent wrote, okay, saying these errors, as you might have gathered by now, they appear to be fully part of the design. But it is also true that U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, has been criticized for its treatment of immigrants for a long time. Now, they say Donald Trump has issued a rare rebuke to Moscow for an air attack that killed 12 people in Kyiv, telling the Russian president in a social media post, Vladimir, stop. The U.S. president's remarks come as he makes a renewed push to end the war in Ukraine, reportedly on terms favorable to Russia. I think Trump is scared of Putin. But anyway, he better be worried about North Korea from sounds of it. But anyway, cyclists who killed pedestrians by dangerous cycling could face a life imprisonment in England and Wales. Okay, why am I? Oh, these are just the 5 big stories they reported on. Okay, I'm going to skip past all that. So anyway, here's what they're going to say about this immigration stuff. It is not clear yet the full impact of Trump's immigration crackdown. Now, between January the 20th, which was Inauguration Day, and March the 10th, ICE made 32,809 migrant arrests. Okay, are y'all listening? According to government figures, more than double the daily rate under Joe Biden. Now, some 1,800 student visas have been revoked. More than 200 Venezuelans are languishing in a supermax prison called a terrorism confinement center without any due process or way of getting home. Joanna Walters has a comprehensive rundown of the status of some of the most high-profile cases that have captured the world's attention. This is all a darn shame. Let me tell you all something. This is absolutely egregious. And I know, like I said, some of y'all don't care about these migrants, but it is not right to just to snatch away people's due process. Okay, thank you, We Next, aka DSB Beloved, for your super sticker donation. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Okay, I know some of y'all might not care, but at the end of the day, this is just so deplorable to me. And then snatching away their student visas, people who came here to try to go to college and stuff or whatever, honey, it's all crazy. So anyway, they say the Trump administration wants the public to believe that all of this is in service of his mass deportation plan. In reality, however, deporting people is complicated and often takes time. Deportations overall are actually down from a year ago, but that is in large part because many fewer people are attempting to cross the border from Mexico. Either way, the cruelty and seemingly arbitrary nature of the tactics has ushered in a new era of fear. Okay, but remember how Trump was saying the Biden administration was fear-mongering. What's he think he's doing? Now, Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a Salvadorian sheet metal apprentice who lives in Maryland with his wife and a 5-year-old son. He was protected by legal status since 2019 because a judge ruled that he was likely to be harmed if he was deported. Despite that, he was stopped by ICE officers on March 12th and sent to CIATS, a notoriously brutal mega prison in El Salvador. Okay, and we already know he was accused of being MS-13 and all that. Trump said he ain't gonna bring him back. Okay, and he meant every word of it, his low down self. But earlier this week, a federal court castigated the Trump administration, accusing it of ignoring court orders, obstructing the legal process, and acting in bad faith. Garcia's case has become a lightning rod story, bringing much needed attention to the issue. However, it has also attracted significant ire from the government, with Trump directly attacking Garcia. His wife, Jennifer Vasquez-Sura, has had to flee to a secret location after U.S. officials posted a court document on social media that contained the address of her family. Now, why would they do that? Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. This is the kind of stuff they're out here doing. This is what they're out here doing. It's a darn shame. Then there was a Turkish PhD student, okay? People coming over here, like I said, trying to get a better education and all that kind of stuff, honey. Okay, only to have their dreams snatched. Now, Rumeysa Öztürk, a Turkish-born PhD student and former Fulbright scholar, okay, at Tufts University in Massachusetts, co-wrote an op-ed for the student newspaper last year, calling on her university to acknowledge the Palestinian genocide and divest from companies linked to Israel. That was enough for the Department of Homeland Security to say that she engaged in activities in support of Hamas, a foreign terrorist organization that relishes, honey, the killing of Americans. All lies, but that's what they did. Now, Öztürk was detained by ICE officers on March the 25th, okay, a month ago. She was on her way to an iftar meal to celebrate Ramadan. Okay, there's a video of her panicking as she's seized in the street by a group of plainclothes ICE agents with their faces covered. So they coming up to you. I want y'all to think about this. Imagine you're out and about, going about your life, doing whatever you're doing. And then these people wearing regular clothes come up to you with masks on. Baby, I promise you, you let somebody roll up on me in regular clothes and I don't know who the hell you are. You got a mask on and you trying to accost me? Okay, that's not going to turn out good for me or them. Please pay attention. Okay? Because who does that? You don't have on a badge. You're not telling people you're the police, you're ICE. You're not stating that you're an official. You're just coming up with regular clothes. Yeah, that's crazy. With trafficking going on, people could think anything these days is all I'm saying. So anyway, with her faces covered and then was taken away in an unmarked car. And now she is among the most unsettling examples of the Trump administration's approach. A federal judge ordered that Öztürk be transferred back to Vermont as she seeks to challenge what her lawyers call her unconstitutional detention in an ICE detention center in Louisiana. Now, the Justice Department has filed an appeal and requested that the judge pause the transfer in the meantime. Her attorneys have challenged this appeal, saying that only one party, Ms. Ozturk, would suffer any harm from a stay, and that harm is irreparable. Now, a U.S. citizen. Here we go. The case of 19-year-old U.S. citizen Jose Hermosillo was first reported by NPR affiliate Arizona Public Media. Hermosillo was visiting Tucson from Albuquerque, but says he got lost. Can you imagine getting lost? And this is what happens. So he reportedly approached a Border Patrol officer to get some damn help. Okay, he was shortly after wrongfully arrested for illegally entering the country. Okay, Hermosillo was held for 10 days at Florence Correctional Center, during which time his family provided evidence showing his American citizenship, and he was released last Thursday. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. That was an American citizen. Okay, forget where he originated from. He is a citizen of this country. Okay, y'all don't have a problem with this? Y'all don't think this is absolutely nefarious and egregious? Because I damn sure do. These people need to be stopped. They need to lock Trump's ass up. Okay, impeachment's not going to do it. They need to do more. He needs to be sent to prison. Okay, DSB said, I agree 100% with you, Queen. Facts. Thank you, beloved, for your insight into the topic and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, yes, this is all so crazy. So anyway, he was released last Thursday. Now, the Department of Homeland Security argued that Hermosillo's arrest and detention were a direct result of his own actions and his statements. Because he asked y'all's dumbasses for help, and this is what you do? According to DHS, Jose Hermosillo approached Border Patrol in Tucson, Arizona, stating he had illegally entered the U.S. and identified himself as a Mexican citizen. And he denies ever saying that. Why the hell would he say that? Excuse me, Mr. Border Patrol, can you help me? I'm lost. By the way, I illegally entered the country and I'm a Mexican citizen. Who the hell would say that? Now, you know they just sitting up here lying on people. Let me tell y'all something. When I say these people are dangerous, and the problem is that Trump has empowered a bunch of sick individuals who are just as psychopathic and insidiously obtuse as he is. Okay? This is absolutely crazy. Now, wait till one of y'all black artists get caught up in this mess. Okay? Then it's really going to be all hell's going to break loose, honey. Okay? At least it better. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, because talk about a protest, honey. Y'all want to take to the streets any other time, honey. If any stuff starts happening like this to black folks, honey, y'all better be out there in them streets, honey, about millions. Okay, so anyway, this is absolutely crazy. Now they go on to say, said he told him he was here illegally. DHS posted a copy of the 19-year-old sworn statement on X, in which he responded yes when asked if he had entered the country illegally, and showed a signature that read Jose. Honey, they wrote that themselves. Like, that man didn't do that. Who they think they're fooling? We already know they'll lie, cheat, steal, and do any damn thing to get what they want. We already saw how Trump showed that fake Photoshop picture trying to make it look as though Abrego Garcia was an MS-13. Okay, completely photoshopped. What the government did not mention is that, according to his family, Hermosillo has intellectual disabilities and cannot read or write and has trouble speaking. Okay, now y'all hear this. Low down dirty devils. They argue that he could not have known what he was signing. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays wrote on X, my office has reached out to ICE for answers on how this was allowed to happen to an American citizen. It is only unacceptable to wrongfully detain U.S. citizens. Honey, they don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. Now, the case of Mohammad Khalil, a Palestinian activist and former graduate student at Columbia University in New York, is probably the most infamous example of a legal permanent resident being arrested and threatened with deportation for accused or supposed anti-Semitism. You all remember that because I told you all about this, honey. So you can't say nothing about the Jews, and you can't say nothing about Trump or his administration, honey, or they can just boot you out the country. Okay, please pay attention. Khalil was targeted for his leading role in protests against Israel's assault on Gaza on the Columbia campus, although the Trump administration is yet to set out the charges against him because they don't have any. Okay, they're trying to make up some ish. He was detained at his home on March the 8th in front of his wife, who is 8 months pregnant. He's being held at a detention center in Louisiana. The constitutional right to freedom of speech extends to green card holders such as Khalil, as well as citizens. But the government is seeking to use an obscure 1952 law which allows for the deportation of lawful permanent residents if their actions are deemed to threaten U.S. national security. And see, that's a very broad statement, because if it's deemed to threaten U.S. national security, so they could say any damn thing. You could be chewing bubblegum too loud and they could say that's a threat to national security. It's real talk. They can say whatever they want. I mean, we already see that's what they're doing. Okay, so there's no allegation that he has committed a crime, but a government charging document says that his role in the protest means that he presents potentially serious adverse foreign policy consequences for the United States. Earlier this month, an immigration judge ruled that Khalil is eligible to be deported from the U.S. Khalil's lawyers are appealing this decision to the Board of Immigration Appeals, which is part of the Justice Department. His case will likely appear before the Supreme Court. Now, Khalil wrote a public letter published in The Guardian last month that summarizes his situation like this: I am a political prisoner. Okay? Yep, he is. And so are those Black Panthers that are still sitting up in prisons from all those decades ago. Okay, please pay attention. Shout out to Ahmadiyyah Shakur. Okay, peace be unto you. Now, at stake are not just our voices, but the fundamental civil liberties of it all. Okay, knowing fully that this moment transcends my individual circumstances, I hope nonetheless to be free to witness the birth of my firstborn child. Khalil's wife, Noor Abdallah, gave birth to their son 1,000 miles away without him. In a statement released on Monday evening, Abdallah wrote, I welcomed our son into the world earlier today without Mohammad by my side. Despite our request for ICE to allow Mohammad to attend the birth, they denied his temporary release to meet our son. This was a purposeful decision by ICE to make me, Mohammad, and our son suffer. Of course it was, dirty dogs. Anyway, let me continue. Now, with that all being said, these are the things that Trump's administration has been doing, and also, like I told you all, costing U.S. taxpayers billions of dollars, okay? Right? Because one thing about it, you can say what you want, but the bottom line is that immigration actually boosts the economy, okay? It actually boosts the economy, okay? Whether y'all know it or not, that's just a fact. TC Dan says the administration also trying to get rid of NPR and cut funding to cultural institutions and nursing homes, National Weather Service, etc. It's horrible. Yes, I absolutely know. I absolutely know. They don't want the NPR back at the White House. Okay, thank you for your insight to the topic, beloved, and your contributions to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now we're going to talk about this judge, okay? Now we're going to talk about this judge, honey. Please pay attention. Let me pull up my receipts. Now, by the way, the judge has been released from jail, but it's just a fact. And her lawyer issued a statement, honey. Then we got to talk about Kash Patel, his stupid self. He posted some stuff on, had the audacity to delete it. But oh no, honey, we're too quick for you. We're too quick for you, Kash Patel. You can sit down somewhere. Okay, he is not worthy of the position he holds. None of these fools that Trump has put in his cabinet are worth the paper that their names were printed on, honey. None of them are qualified for the positions they have, and they're now gone rogue and doing whatever they want to do. All right, and it's just ghastly. At the end of the day, these people, let me tell y'all something. Have you ever seen a time where somebody has given somebody power, authority over something, over a group of people or what have you, and they just go haywire? Like, you can't tell them anything at that point because they're sick with power. They're drunk with power. These are people that have been losers their whole lives. Okay, I don't care what kind of degrees they have or accolades. They still are losers. That's why they deal with Trump. And at the end of the day, he's a loser too. Please pay attention. So that all being said, these people being as ignorant as they are, but thinking they're so damn smart, okay, and then sitting up here trying to carry out this whole, this whole debacle on the United States, okay, driving this whole country to hell, okay, with gasoline draws at the end of the day, pissing off all these other countries, okay, just creating enemies abroad and all kinds of stuff, trying to bully people. The tariffs just went wrong for them, went left. Everything is just catastrophic at this point. And the Republicans, what are they doing? What are they saying? Are they going to try to stop Trump? No. They're going to let the devil stay at the wheel, honey, because, okay, they're not doing anything to try to put him in check. Not a darn thing.
Arrested, facing charges, accused of flouting federal law to help an illegal immigrant. Federal prosecutors say Milwaukee County Circuit Court Judge Hannah Dugan allegedly helped that migrant avoid arrest by ICE officers at the courthouse. It's a bizarre case and it's still unfolding. Hello, I'm John Roberts in Washington. Sandra, good to see you back again.
All right. Good to be back with you as well, John. I'm Sandra Smith in New York, and this is America Reports. So today's arrest of a judge marks the second such case in the last 24 hours. A former New Mexico judge and his wife were taken into custody yesterday. Federal agents arresting them for harboring a suspected Tren de Aragua gang member in their guest house.
For more on all of this, we are honored to have in the new U.S. Attorney General, Pam Bondi. It's good to talk to you, Pam.
Good to talk to you.
So let me read a little bit from.
Now I want you all to look at this bimbo in the middle, Pam Bondi. Look at her gleaming, okay? She is so full of glee, ecstatic. That's because this witch is drunk with power, okay? She is drunk with power. She thinks that she's running stuff, honey, and her and Trump... She's Trump's biggest bootlick, okay, as far as I'm concerned. She is licking the boots. Please pay attention.
From the criminal complaint here, Judge Dugan says, despite having been advised of the administrative warrant for the arrest of Flores Ruiz, Judge Dugan then escorted Flores Ruiz and his counsel out of the courtroom through the jury door, which leads to a non-public area of the courthouse. A foot chase ensued. The agents pursued Flores Ruiz for the entire length of the courthouse and ultimately apprehended him. According to this complaint, Judge Dugan was visibly angry that ICE was there to arrest Flores Ruiz, even tried to kick the deportation agents out of the courthouse.
Yeah, and to set the stage for you and Sandra, this was truly horrific. This guy was in court being prosecuted by a state prosecutor for domestic violence.
See, this is what I want you all to pay attention to. Now, this witch is going to sit here and say that he was in court being prosecuted for domestic violence. Okay, and your point is, okay, because here's the thing. He was in court in the United States, where if he did, in fact, commit a crime, that's where he's supposed to be tried, okay, and convicted if guilty. But at the end of the day, what you don't get to do is ship him off from somewhere because he committed a crime. Okay, please pay attention, you guys. That's what I keep telling y'all. They can start taking people that are already in prison who look like us and shipping them over there. And then anybody who gets arrested, you know, for whatever reason, doing the same. And they're sitting here telling lies to arrest people. Okay? Hippie Soul said, correct. It's propaganda, pushing false information. Exactly. Because even if he did commit a crime, you're still not supposed to deprive him of due process. And that's exactly what she's doing. And she's saying all this negative stuff about this man, the same kind of stuff they said about Abrego Garcia, talking about his MS-13. But they're saying all of these things so that, because they know that Trump's foolish followers, these people that ignorantly support Trump, at the end of the day, MAGA, they don't care because they're all a bunch of racist devils anyway. Okay, please pay attention, honey.
Battery. He had beat up two people, a guy and a girl, hit the guy 30 times, knocked him to the ground, choked him, beat up a woman so badly they both had to go to the hospital. And John, you know, it's so rare for victims to want to cooperate. They wanted to cooperate. They were sitting in the courtroom with the state prosecutor. The judge learns that ICE was outside to get the guy because he had been deported in 2013, came back in our country, commits these crimes, charged with committing these crimes.
Hold on, I'm going to say this one more time because Jay Sanders just said he's an illegal. I don't care. Nobody asked you to care. Are you listening to what I'm saying? The man is a citizen. Some of these people are citizens and they're locking them up with no explanation. Are you a citizen? Because I'm telling you this could happen to you. Now, if you think that it can't, that's just idiotic. Okay, please pay attention. Nobody asked you to give a damn about immigrants. Give a damn about yourself or people who look like you, fool. But anyway, let me continue.
Crimes. Victims in court. Judge finds out. She goes out in the hallway, screams at the immigration officers. She's furious, visibly shaken, upset, sends them off to talk to the chief judge. She comes back in the courtroom. You're not going to believe this. Takes the defendant and the defense attorney back in her chambers, takes them out a private exit and tells them to leave. While a state prosecutor and victims of domestic violence are sitting in the courtroom.
Wow.
You know, Madam Attorney General, great to have you here. And thanks for coming back on America Report. So we remember these words of Tom Homan, the border czar. This was March 17th, and his message on these judges who apparently are trying to
Jay Sanders says, stop caping for foreigners. Don't tell me what to do. If you don't like what the queen is cooking, honey, you can exit stage left. Okay, because you keep talking slick and greasy, I'm going to drop that link. And you can either click it and get up here and show your face and talk your ish, or you can get the hell out because I'll ban you if you don't. Okay, now I'm going to tell you like this. This is how it goes on this channel because I run this, not you. So when you come on here and you're trying to challenge the queen or you got something you want to air out, honey, don't keep typing in the chat. I will gladly drop the link. Okay, you can click it. Show your face cam up and you can get up here and tell us all what you got to say. That's what you can do. Now, if you don't want to do that, it would behoove you to stop talking crazy in my damn chat. Because if I drop the link and you don't click it, you're banned. Now, you might not care, but I don't either. Okay, so that's how this goes. Let's continue.
You get in the way of this administration's efforts. Listen.
I'm proud to be a part of this administration. We're not stopping. I don't care what the judges think. I don't care what the left thinks. We're coming.
So when you see these judges trying to obstruct your efforts to make this country safer, what is your message to them?
We are going to prosecute you, and we are prosecuting you. I found out about this the day it happened. We could not believe, actually, that a judge really did that. We looked into the facts in great depth. That's her picture up on the screen, Hannah Dugan, who is now in custody. You cannot obstruct a criminal case, and really, shame on her. It was a domestic violence case of all cases.
Okay, Jay Sanders. I'm sorry to keep interrupting you guys, but I'm on one today, honey. Jay Sanders, I just dropped the link. And I beg you to click it because you're talking a whole lot of slick talk, honey. Talking about let's see them edges, honey. I don't have to let you see my edges, honey, because we all know I got edges. I mean, look at the length of my hair. This ain't a weave or a wig, boo. Okay, please sit down somewhere. Okay, please sit down somewhere. Rex the Queen, that's one of your old trolls. I know who it is, but I'm telling you, click the link. Click the link. Talking about let you see. There go the link, honey. You want to see my edges? Click that link, and I'll show them to you when you get up here. Okay, click the link. Now, I'm going to go back to the video, and if you have not clicked the link in 2 minutes, your ass is out of here. Okay? Please pay attention.
And she's protecting a criminal defendant over victims of crime.
In fact, she just had an initial appearance in court. There's also this other case coming out of New Mexico. Judge Joel Cano and his wife were arrested for harboring a TDA member at their home. The alleged TDA member had been picked up by law enforcement, and now he and his wife were picked up and arrested. And you say that you believe, as the Attorney General, that the person that they were having living at their home was a truly potentially bad individual.
Yeah, that's the judge up on the screen now who got arrested. Yeah, his name is Ortega. He was a known TDA member. So he comes through Eagle Pass, December 2023. He's living in our country. January 2025, ICE, they get a tip. Tom Homan's done a great job. Our FBI did a great job on this case too. They get a tip that he is living with a judge and the judge's wife. So they have him arrested first on immigration charges. A Judge Damian Martinez releases him saying that Judge Cano has a good BS meter and wouldn't let just anyone live on his property.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the associations with this violent Venezuelan gang, Tren de Aragua, and this person that they harbored in their home, he was showing signs through clothing, we were told, tattoos. There was evidence through voice messages and text messages of his association to TDA. So what charges will Cano and his wife face, if any?
So Judge Cano, soon to be former Judge Cano, got his charges were just unsealed. He's charged with obstruction. He admitted post Miranda. He took one of the TDA members' cell phones himself, took it, beat it with a hammer, destroyed it, and then walked the pieces to a city dumpster to dispose of it to protect him. The wife also is charged with destroying evidence. Sandra, not only that, this TDA member, and he had on a necklace that said kill, something about death. He had tattoos all over him. He also had on his cell phone pictures of 2 decapitated victims, victims, decapitated, gruesome photos. And he was sending them out, and whoever he was sending them to was sending back saying, hey, you need to be careful. You shouldn't be sending these. You shouldn't be texting these photos out. Not only that, these 2, the judge and his wife, gave him assault rifles that belonged to their daughter. That's what they're charged with. In the criminal report affidavit, he goes to a shooting range with these assault rifles, with a suppressor, with other known TDA members, and they're shooting. This is the last person that we want in our.
I've heard enough from that witch. Okay, I have heard a damn enough. She's sitting up there lying. Half the stuff she said wasn't even true. Okay, please pay attention. Terrence says Pam Bondi is Trump's equivalent to Biden's Corinne St. Pierre, just an uninformed mouthpiece. Yes, that's exactly what she is. Okay, y'all are so crazy going in on Jay Sanders. Okay, somebody said that was wig. Okay, that probably was one of the wigs. Okay, one of the 5 wigs. Okay, but anyway, honey, I booted him out of here because he wasn't going to click the link, sitting up here talking ish, talking about that's a hair hat. Like, sit down somewhere, idiot. It's not like y'all haven't seen my whole hair before without a head wrap on, so miss me with it, okay? So, yeah, so the judge has been released, as I told you all. Okay, so let's go to the report. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance. Queen Nina Starr said the wigettes, okay? They all try to team up on the queen, honey. Pay attention.
Accused of helping an undocumented man evade arrest has been released from federal custody after her own arrest Friday. CBS News Department of Justice correspondent Scott McFarland has more.
The arraignment of Judge Hannah Dugan is scheduled for May 15th at the federal courthouse in Milwaukee. She'll have her opportunity at that hearing to enter a not guilty plea. Her arrest has had seismic impact politically already and is quite a statement by the Trump administration.
Yeah, and see, this is what I was trying to tell you all, okay? This is very much so proof. I want you all to pay attention. This is a white woman. This is a judge, okay? Now, I want y'all to please pay attention, because if Trump's administration will lock her up, then they'll definitely lock you up, okay? They will definitely lock you up and make up lies on you. And it's really sad. Prayers for the first judge they were talking about that got arrested, he and his wife, for helping the migrants. Let me tell you something. Prayers for them, because it's a sad day when you get arrested for being a nice person, for trying to help somebody, okay? And they're sitting up there talking about he had pictures of decapitated heads and all this. Honey, sit down somewhere. We know who cuts off heads, okay? And it's usually people who look like Jeffrey Dahmer, okay? That's all I'm saying, okay? Let's continue.
As they handle immigration cases, they allege in charging documents, Judge Dugan was at court a week ago Friday, and that's a defendant in her courtroom for domestic battery was being pursued that day by immigration agents, and that agents were outside the judge's courtroom. According to the charging documents, the judge called the presence of the immigration agents there for that cause absurd, and then sent the immigration agents to the chief judge's office. While they were at the chief judge's office, they allege Judge Dugan moved the defendant, who was to be detained, to a jury box seat and then out a jury doorway into a hallway not commonly used by the public. According to the charging documents, the agents eventually caught up with that defendant, arrested him. But now the FBI alleges Judge Dugan engaged in obstruction, a federal felony for which she now is criminally charged. Her name is on the defendant's signature line in the release conditions. Some Democrats have called this an overreach, a new front, and a threat to democracy with the Trump administration. And the Attorney General today said it is a righteous and justified arrest.
Lilia Luciano joins us now. Lilia, thanks for being here. What are both sides saying about this and what happens next?
I'm going to stop interrupting because I actually hate when people keep stopping the videos and stuff. Okay, but let me just read this comment. Tony says, Trump will lock up FBAs next. That's why we got to be outraged over this. Exactly, beloved. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Y'all really think that he won't come after us next? Okay? I have to show y'all a clip of what Trump was saying about some black folks too, honey, because some of y'all may be lost in the sauce.
Lizzie, I think when you look at this case, this really stresses the divide between the Trump administration and their their goals of increasing the number of people to be deported and the judicial system and the judges that are basically trying to uphold the law. In this case in particular, look, it seems like this judge might have broken the law. But this kind of takes us back to all of the times that we have heard this week, for instance, of judges who are trying to block the Trump administration, for instance, from using the Alien Enemies Act. The attorney for this judge, for Judge Dugan, told the AP, we've reached out from CBS News, have not been able to communicate with her attorneys, but one of her attorneys told the AP, Judge Dugan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest. It was not made in the interest of public safety, basically her arrest. But as Scott said, she is due next in court on May 15th. At that point, for an arraignment, she will be able to plead not guilty. But this is just one example of how the administration is trying to achieve those higher goals of more deportations, and judges are getting in the way. Perhaps in this way, well, she's being accused of obstructing justice. It's not going through the judicial process. It seems to have been a physical instance, but it's kind of symbolic of what's happening in so many courts across the country when it comes to these deportations.
And you actually spoke to the Trump administration's border czar, Tom Homan, before this happened. Here's part of your conversation.
I'm asking about the Venezuelans who were sent to another country, were thrown into a prison without any due process.
That's not true.
Because what you're saying is
you can't say any due process. Every due process, hundreds of hours were spent on verifying they're a member of a
yeah, but due process
gang.
means you can be in front of a judge and argue against the accusation that's going to land you in prison. It doesn't mean that people only investigate and declare you a criminal or a gang member.
Due process comes in many fashions.
So tell us more.
This stupid mother sucker doesn't even understand, apparently, what due process is. Talking about it comes in many fashions. Biatch, the fact of the matter is you cannot deprive people of their rights and ship them off to somewhere they're not even from and have never been just because they committed a crime. Okay, that's not how that goes. Due process is part of the Constitution, but at the end of the day, I guess Trump's administration has thrown that away, okay, clearly.
More about his thoughts. When he's saying hundreds of hours, is he talking about each case or collectively?
That is such a good question. And we've had this conversation a couple of times. I've tried to get more details about what kind of evidence shows not only that every single Venezuelan who was deported to El Secot, this maximum security prison in El Salvador, actually has evidence of either committing crimes, which he agrees that many of them have not committed crimes, or 60 Minutes investigated and found that 75% of them have not committed crimes in the United States or elsewhere. But what he's talking about is about trusting the good men and women who have done these investigations. And I asked the border czar, Tom Homan, well, there have been Americans who have spent days in these recent weeks in detention because of mistakes that were made by those very people who are good men and women investigating, and that's why you need a due process. He says, well, that's being determined. I think this is such an important story to stay on the track of these deportations, because every day something big happens and we kind of move away, and those Venezuelans are sent by our country. And at least in one of those cases, all we've seen personally from reviewing the documents, talking to family members, not one, more than one, we've just seen these tattoos that experts have confirmed to me in different countries from Venezuela to Colombia throughout the region are not evidence of being a gang member. So we have a lot more coming up on the CBS Evening News and next week with the rest of our interview.
Before we let you go, the Trump administration announced Friday thousands of foreign student visas will be reinstated. Talk us through that change.
Well, this is something that had so many international students deeply concerned, because if you lose your visa status, then that makes you deportable. Many of these thousands of visas were challenged because of people's even small run-ins with the law. It sounds like right now the Trump administration is backtracking on that, but that doesn't mean that this is the end of this. ICE is hoping to have a new policy that would allow them to remove these visas a lot faster. And And to be clear, we're talking about thousands of students, not the high-profile students who the Secretary of State directly accused of terrorist activity. These are students who, from one day to the next, suddenly were threatened to be deported if they lost their status and who were attending U.S. universities. So more to come on that.
All right, Lily Luciano, thank you. And again,
Okay, so anyway, y'all heard that, honey. This is all a disaster. Now, Get Some Business says, and why should we care about the race? The rights, I think you mean race, when they don't care about Black people rights. They came over here knowing it was taken from us. Well, here's the thing. That's not necessarily true because, you know, I don't group all people together because there's some people who don't like us, but there's also some people who do like us. I remember when my youngest son, Reno, was about to get jumped at a football game some years ago, okay, when he was in high school, and there was some Mexicans, okay, who were down with him. They were like, no, they're not about to jump you. Okay, it's like 20 people wanted to jump him so they could steal his jacket, his chain, and his watch. Okay, and it was a group of Mexicans, okay, that got with him and his friend and was ready to fight and throw down for them. So with that all being said, honey, I judge people by the way they treat me and other people, okay? At the end of the day, all Mexicans are not racist. All immigrants aren't against us, okay? That's just the lying propaganda. And if you believe that, then don't be mad when people believe that all Black people are thugs and that all Black women are hoochie mamas, okay? Because that's a stereotype that they have about us too, okay? So please sit down somewhere at the end of the day. And here's the thing, Get Some Business. I don't know how many times I have to say it. Hopefully this will be the last time this live. What I have said is you don't have to care about the migrants. You don't have to care about these people that are being deported. Okay, that's on you. At the end of the day, care about Black people because you're Black, aren't you? Maybe you're not. You don't have a profile picture. I just assume. But at the end of the day, whatever race you are, be concerned about your race, okay? Because the bottom line is, at the end of the day, if they're doing it to them, they can do it to you. If they're locking up white judges, did you see that white man judge, that male judge and his wife? Those are elderly people, honey. Pam Bondi said he's a former judge now. So this man's going to lose his position. He's going to be thrown in jail, facing charges, him and his wife, for simply helping migrants, okay? So if they'll do that to white folk that are deemed as good white folk, out here with whole careers being judges, okay? At the end of the day, if they'll do to them, what you think they'll do to us, okay? That's all I'm saying, honey. So please miss me with all the dumb stuff some of y'all keep saying about y'all don't care about the migrants. Nobody asked you to, okay? Nobody asked you to. Now, with that all being said, Judge Hannah Dugan's arrest is not unprecedented, okay? Let's talk about it. The recent arrest of Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan has drawn widespread attention, but legal experts say it's not far from unprecedented. The case against the Wisconsin judge, it's unusual but not unprecedented, according to CNN's crime correspondent, Caitlin Polatz. Okay, there has been a case like this before in 2019 during the first Trump administration. Trump always been low down and dirty. Okay, charging a judge in Massachusetts who was accused of something very similar, trying to usher someone out of that courtroom as ICE officials were waiting for the defendant. Now, in that case, that ended up being resolved. Those charges were dropped in the Biden administration against that judge in Massachusetts, but she ended up cutting a deal. So it was a legitimate case there as well. Now, in the 2019 case, Newton District Court Judge Shelley Richmond Joseph and former court officer Wesley McGregor they were indicted on federal obstruction charges. They were accused of helping a twice deported undocumented defendant exit a courthouse to evade immigration agents, but the charges were later dropped under the Biden administration. Okay. What y'all talk about? Sitting here talking about you don't care about immigrants, honey. Anybody ask you to care about nobody? Care about yourself at least, honey, because your Black arse could be locked up and shipped up out of here to El Salvador to that nefarious gangster-ridden prison, honey. Okay, and then we'll see what you have to say then. You've been sitting over there crying your little ass eyes out, talking about Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur trying to tell me that I wouldn't listen. Yeah, you wouldn't listen. Okay, so I missed the Queen with it. Right, Brandon says, you think these immigrants care about FBA? Mexico, they attacked 3 Black people. Look at Cali. Are you tethered? Brandon, thank you for paying $5 to tell me off, honey. If that's what you think you did, fool. I'm going to tell you, like I told Jay Sanders, no, I didn't say they care about FBA. Did I say that ever? No, I didn't. I said I don't paint everybody with the same stroke, and I don't categorize and generalize people, because all people of every race and ethnic group are not the same. That is just a damn fact. Okay? And I'm not a tether. Are you a tether? I'm sorry. Make it all make sense. I'm actually identifying as a indigenous person from this country. I don't identify as African American or FBA. Okay, please make it all make sense. I think I showed you all my paperwork years ago. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm a North American native of Cherokee descent. Okay, get your life. With that all being said, thanks for the contribution and your insight to the topic. Okay, I hope I answered your question to your pleasure. Okay. With that all being said, honey, thanks. Y'all can keep tipping the queen. Y'all can keep on sending cash apps or, super chats if y'all want to tell me off. I'm here for it, okay? Because I need the coins, okay? I'm not rich. I need my coins. Thank you kindly. Anyone else want to talk trash to the queen? Instead of clicking the link, you can send them donations. I'll take them all, okay? With that all being said, honey, talking about they attacked 3 Black people. Okay, well, was that all Mexicans collectively that attacked 3 Black people? Because see, here's the problem with that statement that you just made. Let me just tell you, Brandon 34. Okay, so you know Carmelo Anthony, remember him? The young Black man who has everything going for himself, who accidentally took somebody's life in self-defense. Well, with that all been said, the narrative that the racist devil started painting when he did that was that all Black people are going around trying to take out white folk, that we're trying to, basically oppress them, that we're victimizing them. That's what they said about all Black people. Now, why would they say that about us? Well, because Carmelo, who's one person, had to defend himself. Okay, and then they're lying, posting pictures of Carmelo looking like a whole thug, but it wasn't even really him. It's somebody who had a similar hairstyle and who's also Black. I know they think we all look alike, but we really don't. How could we all look alike when we come in all different shades? Okay, I would think that they are closer to all looking alike than us, but anyway, I digress. The bottom line is, sir, if you want to sit here and paint all Mexicans as the same, then don't get mad when they paint us all as the same. Now let me continue. Can I get done with the goddamn laugh? Okay, anyway. Now, Polans added that the government has a case against Dugan. Well, they have a case, and that case is going on into court. She hasn't entered a plea yet. She was released after her appearance. Now, why does this matter? I'm so glad you asked. You see, since beginning his second term, okay, y'all's President Trump has rolled out an aggressive immigration agenda, which has included mass deportations and a shift towards stricter enforcement and fewer legal immigration pathways. The sweeping actions have reignited debate not only about immigration policy, but also about who gets to stay in the United States and under what conditions. And, this is what I'm talking about, Brandon 34. I'm telling you that you could be the next one booted from the United States, the next one shipped to an El Salvadorian prison. Does that sit well with you? Do you resonate with that? Do you speak the language that they speak over there? I don't think you do. Okay, so anyway, as the result, the Trump administration has clashed with judges at all levels over immigration policies and enforcement since Inauguration Day. But Dugan's arrest marks a significant shift in tensions between the justice system and the executive branch. Now, hold on. I got to tell y'all something else. I just thought about something. Judges are rarely arrested or impeached, but U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi suggested Friday that the Department of Justice was going to prosecute more judges. Okay, this is what they're doing. All right, this is, so crazy. But it is what it is, because now here's what I just thought about. Let me just make myself very clear. Like Barack Obama says, okay, in the words of Barack No Obama, and yes, I said no Obama. Let's be clear. Some of y'all, okay, not most of y'all in the chat, maybe about 2, 3. Some of y'all are obtuse. I'm sorry to say it's true. Some of y'all are obtuse. Brandon, I'm thinking it might be you. But here's the thing, because first of all, here's what y'all do. Now, I sit up here and give you all information. I disseminate information on a regular, okay? And with that being said, it's interesting to me how some people are so slow mentally that they don't listen to what I'm saying and take it as it comes. What they do is they hear what they want to hear, no matter what my lips are saying. Do y'all see that? Then you gotta be stupid to do that. Okay, you have to be stupid to do that. You have to be a whole ignorant idiot. Okay, because here's why. I have said repetitively that I'm not telling you to support the immigrants. I'm not sitting up here caping for immigrants. I'm caping for Black people. And if you're that effing stupid, okay, please pay attention because I'm very serious. Because y'all are starting to piss me the hell off. And you know the queen is pissed off when she starts cursing because I don't really curse in real life. I barely curse on here. But when you hear the queen cursing, you know there's some ignorant fool has pissed me off. So now we're here. Now we're here. So let's get into it. The thing is, listen to what I'm saying and don't formulate your own thoughts. Okay, your own stupid, ignorant interpretation of what I'm saying. Because I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. So I'm telling you that my concern is that Trump will eventually, if he's allowed to send these immigrants elsewhere without giving them due process, without letting their cases be heard and tried, just shipping them up out of here and refusing, even though judges have ordered him, federal judges have ordered him to bring them back. If he can get away with that, baby, he will be sending us over their necks. And that's facts on facts on facts. Now, if you're too ignorant and too damn stupid to understand that, then get your dumb, ignorant ass out of my mother-ucking chat. And I mean that, okay? Because unlike most YouTubers, I don't really care about the damn numbers. What I do care about is disseminating information that helps the masses, specifically the masses who look like the queen. Okay, now if you got a problem with anything that I said, then you can leave. Now, with that being said, let's continue. Because I want to tell you all about Kash Patel. Now, he thought he was so slick and sly after that judge was arrested, and he posted something online on his social media, and then he deleted it. But oh, baby, the queen got it. Okay, you wasn't that fast, fool. Okay, we believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse. Now, I want you to pay attention to what he said right there. Why is that important? Because this mother sucker just said, we believe. He didn't say she did it. He didn't say we saw. He didn't say we know. He said we believe. Okay? He said we believe. So that means that they had this woman arrested without even knowing for a fact that she broke the damn law. Did they even have probable cause? Maybe they did. But at the end of the day, they didn't even know if she did anything. Okay? And then he deleted it because he knew his dumb ass had told on himself. That's what he did. Okay, please pay attention. These people are something else. Okay, they are something else. Now, and that's Kash Patel. Okay, the director, Trump's director of the CIA. I mean the FBI. Okay. So, you know, and then also, by the way, the judge's attorney also issued a statement. But hold on, let's go to Kash Patel's second post that he also deleted. Anyway, hold on. Let me share my screen again. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Okay, if you mad, you know what you can do. All right, facts on facts. Okay, so thankfully our agents chased down the perp on foot. And he's been in custody since. This is what Kash Patel wrote. Okay, but the judge's obstruction created increased danger to the public. Thankfully, our agents chased down the perp on foot. I'm sorry. Do y'all hear how he's talking? Like this is a Humphrey Bogart movie from 1938. Chase down the perp on foot. I'm done. I am totally done, honey. And I heard a news reporter talking about it, and they said he sounded like he had a James Cagney film, and he sure does. This is all perps on chase down on foot. Honey, sit down somewhere. Okay? This is all crazy. Now, here's what the judge's attorney had to say. Ms. Dugan wholeheartedly regrets and protests her arrest. Okay, her attorney, Greg Mastantano, told U.S. Magistrate Judge Stephen C. Dries, said it was not made in the interest of public safety, and we asked that the court allow her release. Okay, so the judge granted it apparently because she is now out. Okay, now let's talk about Trump having a problem with the African leader Ibrahim Traore. Okay, let's talk about that. Okay, let's talk about it. Because Trump is a whole fool, like I told y'all. But for those of you who don't know, let's talk about who this man is, honey. Let's talk about it. This man is a young African president, and he's running-ish, okay? He performed a whole coup and took over, dethroned, overthrew the previous leader. Now, that's okay, because the previous leader also overthrew somebody, okay? And then he got overthrown. Make it all make sense, honey. I love it. Okay, so anyway, here we go. We got to get rid of these corrupt African leaders too, by the way. Now, with that all being said, let's get into it. I'm going to put an overlay on here.
It was not long ago that Ibrahim Traore, a relatively low-ranking officer in Burkina Faso's military, was running an artillery regiment in a small northern town. Now, cheering crowds greet the self-declared leader after he and a group of soldiers overthrew President Paul-Henri Damiba. It was the West African country's second coup this year. But in an interview with Radio France International, Traore insisted he will not be in charge for long. A national conference will appoint a new interim leader by the end of the year, he said, and an agreement with West Africa's regional bloc for a return to civilian rule by 2024 would be honored. Still, an early picture of what Traore's junta intends to do with its time in power has emerged.
Okay, so there you have it. That's who the man is. Now, as I was saying, they want to arrest this man, honey. Yeah, Trump and Macron. Because, first of all, he kicked Macron's arse out of Burkina Faso. Okay, kicked him on up out of there. They want to see, here's the thing. These people want to go over there and deprive Africa of all their resources and everything, and then give Africa their arse to kiss. That's what they want to do, honey. But this man is not having it. Okay? He's not having it. Please pay attention.
In a situation, though, in which the ruling elite of a country is receiving gratuities on the side.
Now, I want you all to pay attention to this because Trump wants this man arrested and they're telling lies on him. They act like he's taking the gold and all of that, okay, for himself, not trying to help his country. They're mad, okay? If he was doing that, they wouldn't care. You know why they wouldn't care? Because they would let them know that he's corrupt. And you know why that would be right up their alley? Because these corrupt African leaders are the ones that's helping the United States to keep Africa oppressed, okay? That's what they're doing. And this man is about his people and they don't like it. All right, they don't like it. There has been 18 assassination attempts on this man's life. That should tell you everything you need to know. Okay, please pay attention.
That in order to the benefit of the strongman leader and not to the populace of the country. Does that sort of corruption and bribery go on with regard to the Belt and Road?
Absolutely, Chairman. I see this, and I don't mind calling them out, but Captain Traore and Burkina Faso, as they know that both, whether it's their gold reserves, that is all those proceeds are just in exchange to protect the junta regime. There's a number of examples across, even in Sudan.
When a U.S. general goes on record accusing an African leader of using gold to protect himself, you know something big is happening. In a statement to the U.S. Senate, General Michael Langley, commander of AFRICOM, claimed Burkina Faso's gold reserves are being used not for the people, but to secure the leadership of Captain Ibrahim Traore. But here's the question we all should be asking. Isn't that gold Burkina Faso's in the first place? In today's video, we'll expose the agenda behind this statement, highlight the power shift happening across Africa, and explain why the world is watching Burkina Faso more closely than ever before. In Burkina Faso, gold is no longer just a mineral buried deep within the earth. It is becoming a tool, a catalyst, a symbol of transformation, Each coin invested in agriculture brings more harvests. Each ounce that funds a hospital saves more lives. Each nugget that strengthens security guards the hope of tomorrow. Burkina Faso is proving that even in a world of uncertainty, a country can rise when it chooses to invest in its people, its land, and its future. This is more than development. This is the story of a nation reclaiming its destiny, 1 gram of gold at a time.
Okay, and that's why they're mad. That's why they want that man arrested. Sitting up there lying on that man, honey, trying to act like he wants it all for himself. Troy said 19 attempts on his life with the latest president from Ivory Coast tried, but failed. Okay? I mean, they have been constantly trying to take this man out, honey. Please pay attention. All right? Please pay attention, honey. At the end of the day, I'm glad that Africa is standing up. Okay? That's what they need to do. That's what they need to do. And for all y'all sitting up here talking crazy, you see, this is why, quite frankly, this is why we can't ever get anywhere, because we're so divided as a people. And I'm not just talking about some of us in the United States. I'm talking about worldwide. Kash Patel has stated that Bill Gates was actively, okay. I'm looking for something. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, I was looking for a video that I could have sworn that I sent to my, here it is right here. Okay, let me share my screen. Hold on. Here we go. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. C-Stan says, peace, love, and blessings to you, Queen. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Same to you. And thanks for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings.
All right. It looks like it's time for us to go save the people of Burkina Faso. This guy got on U.S. Senate hearing and said that the president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, has become a threat to his own people. You already know what that means, or what that sounds like. That means it's time for us to go liberate the people of Burkina Faso. And of course, they're going to use a black man, the blackface. There's always a house nigga. Every time they're going to use, every time they want to use violence on black people, they use a black man from the West to come bring it on Africans. When they want to use sweet talk, it's always a black woman. You see, this guy's used violence for Burkina Faso. When they wanted to do what was it called? What was it in Kenya? The bill they were trying to introduce, where if you owe too much taxes, the IMF could take your land. It was black American congresswomen they used to send them to Kenya. Like, America has realized they have black people in power who they can use now to destroy Africa. But yes, this house nigger, Michael Langley, is now the guy who's going to be the face of America going into Burkina Faso. Look it up. He got on the Senate hearing and said, but Ibrahim Traore is a threat to his own people.
Okay, nothing but lies and BS. Okay, that's all it is. Nothing but lies and BS. All right, and he's absolutely right. You know, I've actually told you all this before, that when they want to take out a black leader, or they want to do something nefarious to black people, they will go find some black person to do it. And sadly, they always can find one raccoon, at least. Okay, this is what they absolutely do. No lies detected. Okay, but I'm going to tell you all right now, at the end of the day, North Korea has vowed that they're going to protect this man, and that if the U.S. comes against them, then North Korea is going to get involved. And I know that Trump and his raggedy RS administration don't want that. I know they don't want that. Okay, but now let's go to this video about the chat leak with Pete Hegseth's stupid self, because I heard it was explosive, honey. Okay, I heard it was explosive. So let's get into it. Now, this started about 2 hours ago, and it's still live, if I'm not mistaken. Is it still live? It might be concluded. I can't tell. But anyway, here, let's go to it and see what they're talking about. Okay, because Trump's trying to minimize culpability for all the foolishness they do.
In addressing this threat, The field office, along with other federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, have arrested nearly 300 immigrants in my state in 2025 so far. Could you provide some color about the nature of the threat these illegal immigrants have posed, not just to Arkansas, but our nation, perhaps including some of the details of the horrific offenses they've committed against the American people?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Vice Chairman.
The witness will suspend.
The greatest threat to global security is Israel, and the whole world knows it. Stop funding Israel! Stop funding Israel! Stop funding Israel! Stop funding Israel!
So that protester was a code pink lunatic saying the greatest threat to world peace is funding Israel. I will observe, for the benefit of the audience here on television, that Code Pink is funded by communist China as well, which simply illustrates, speak up now if you want to be removed as well, whoever's saying that.
Do you all see how angry he is? The look on his face, he is boiling mad, honey. Please pay attention. Okay, the inquest said Traore has Russia and wonton too. Yes, I spoke about that earlier. He absolutely does have Russia. That's why I said Trump thinks Putin is his friend, honey. But Putin will definitely turn on him. Okay, you better recognize.
Iran, North Korea, and other American adversaries are working in concert to a greater degree than they ever have before. Director Patel, back to my question, could you give us some color about the threat that illegal migrants have posed, not only to my state, which has resulted in nearly 300 arrests in 2025, but also to the nation at large?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Vice Chairman, and members of the committee. I appreciate the time.
Let me say something really quick, okay? Truth Brown said they better stop calling China out too. Exactly. I mean, like, are they crazy or what? And here's the thing. At the end of the day, you know, and then Dedication said they always say communist China like they're not living better than us. Okay, exactly. All right. So, and then Trump's a whole tyrant, okay, a dictator. So how are we doing better? Please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, here's the thing. They need to sit down somewhere because they already have North Korea. Okay, they already got Africa is against them. Okay, some countries in Africa that have sense at least. And then going in on China about those terrorists, well, now they got bad blood between them. And like I said, Putin is not going to side with Trump when it comes to Ibrahim Traore, okay, in my opinion, because for one, he knows that Traore is a man of honor and dignity. He knows that Trump is just a liar who lies, is not to be trusted in real life, don't give a damn about anybody other than himself, okay? That's just the facts, all right? Trump is not to be trusted, and all of his administration knows that too. They're just trying to lick his boots so they don't piss him off at some point and end up in an El Salvadorian jail like they're sending other people. Please pay attention.
It's on in every single state across the union. Since February 5th, we've assisted with the arrest of hundreds of criminals and illegals throughout your state. And that was just a 3-week operation. Prior to that, Senator, there was a bust of 17 federal indictments relating to a meth lab in the state of Arkansas in the southwest corner of your state. All of those individuals are now facing prosecution for hundreds of pounds of illegal opioids, guns, and other illicit material. So we will continue to do that work. We will work it 6-7 days a week, 365 days a year, not just in your state, Mr. Chairman, but in every state.
Thank you, Director Patel. As Director Gabbard highlighted from the annual threat report, Director Ratcliffe, many, if not most, of the chemical precursors for deadly fentanyl produced by Mexican drug cartels originates in China. China, of course, is a techno-totalitarian police state. They have technology to monitor their own people that Soviet Russia could have only imagined. Is there any reason, Director Ratcliffe, to believe?
Did he just say that China is a police state? Well, if that isn't the pot calling the kettle black, or in Trump's case, the pot calling the kettle orange, okay? Please pay attention, honey. This is a police state where we are right now currently. Does he not notice that?
Believe that China could not monitor and crack down on this flow of chemical precursors to Mexico if it chose to do so?
Thank you, Senator, for the question. No, there's nothing that prevent China, the People's Republic of China, from cracking down on fentanyl precursors. As you well know, Senator, one of the reasons that they don't is that there are more than 600 PRC-related companies that produce those precursor chemicals in an industry that generates $1.5 trillion. That is one of the reasons that we see the Chinese efforts to affect the fentanyl precursors are really limited in nature and intermittent in nature, and not a dedicated effort to enforce their own laws and regulations to crack down on this.
Thank you, Director.
Okay, I've heard enough of that. Okay, I really wanted to hear what they were saying about Headset's stupid self. Okay, Nandy says, seen the movie Deep Cover? Recall what Lawrence Fishburne's character said in it? We don't own boats, planes. Like, how does it enter American shores? Matt. Okay, yeah. I thought that was in New Jack City, beloved, when they said that we don't have the planes and helicopters or whatever. I thought that was in New Jack City. But yes, absolutely. Okay, but they want to act like we're the biggest ones that are out here with illegal substances. Honey, please make it all make sense. How do they think that stuff gets here from Vietnam or Guam? Okay, they're bringing it in, honey, not us. Now let's get into it, because Republicans do nothing in the face of Trump's chaos in the first 100 days. Let's talk about it, okay? They aren't doing a darn thing.
The culmination, the first 100 days of the Trump presidency, you're not allowed to describe it in one word as chaotic. But how would you sum up this period of time?
Well, I wouldn't have said chaotic, because
really?
I think the story of this 100 days has been a sort of bizarro FDR situation, where instead of Congress doing bold, persistent experimentation in league with the president, Republicans in Congress, to be specific, handed their power over to the president and have let him run on everything. And you've seen the story of the Republican Party in this period has been them waiting to see what Trump does and then endorsing it, and which changes the way things are covered. We cover conflict. We cover, if in the first term, if Bob Corker said something, we covered it, and he had resistance. I think the story has been all his experimentation being approved by one of our political parties with no real resistance. You've been talking about the effects of this. The party has signed on for stuff that has not worked in a lot of cases. So, but that transformation of the entire party endorsing this imperial presidency, that's what's been every week shaping the changes to the country, I think.
I think it's closing on a very strong down note for Donald Trump.
Like a wah wah.
Very decidedly. And it may mark a momentum shift that is going to continue. You know, he started with shock and awe. He was doing, as David said, a million things. Congress was stepping back. And now we see the markets have turned down. People can, which gives a measurable thing that people can look at. Everyone knows that it's Donald Trump himself who is doing this. It's not conditions in the economy, because he was handed a good economy. And I think the fact that he's done that and been forced to back off, and people have seen that, raises doubt about whether he knows what he's doing on a whole range of other fronts. And he doesn't. The Doge thing has not been successful. They have not found waste and fraud. They have found programs that Elon Musk and Donald Trump don't like. The deportation regime has gotten increasingly secret police-like in terms of grabbing people without proof that they've done anything especially wrong.
And even their numbers aren't what they wanted them to be.
The numbers aren't what they wanted to be, and they're not getting dangerous criminals out, which is why they're having to make claims about people who don't have criminal records, or people who write an op-ed at the college newspaper that they don't like. So I think, and the Ukraine war has not been solved as he said it would.
Israel as well.
So I think people can see that this is a guy who is flailing, and you see that in the numbers. You know, he was at or near 50 when he started.
He's around low 40s now, maybe 40 in one of the polls. I think Reuters had him at 37 yesterday. So, I think he's been badly weakened politically. He's got a Pentagon in total disarray and a defense secretary who's clearly in over his head. I think this is a difficult moment for Trump and a time that people have begun, Democrats and outside institutions, Harvard leading the way, have begun to stand up and push back, and they've done it pretty effectively.
I want to get your first 100 days, but before, I want you to think about this, Jason, and I want to sort of mentally push back on John's idea because we're all kind of sitting here nodding our heads. But if the majority of Americans actually said, you're right, we would see more Republicans other than just Don Bacon pushing back, right? They've got midterms not that far away. And it goes back to your original point. Republicans are basically acquiescing. We're watching chaotic decision or things not work out. And they're saying, thank you, sir. We'll have another. So do we really think there's going to be a momentum shift? Because if there was, they'd be worried about their own hinds.
No, because there's a lot of people who like this stuff. There's a lot of people who like this stuff. And here's the thing. Here's my first 100 years. We tried to tell you, right? Whether it's Hillary Clinton or Kamala Harris, people told the American public, this is what he's going to do. It was in Project 2025. This was not crazy TikTok conspiracy theory. They said they were going to dismantle the administrative state, and that's what they're doing. Now, all the heck and nonsense that you have with Doge, all the things that you have going on with immigration, these were all things that he said. The issue that I see is not with the Republicans, because I don't think they've been a functional party ever since Donald Trump walked down the elevator, right? I don't think they've operated as anything other than a rubber stamp. What's been concerning to me is the lack of plan by Democrats over and over again in the face of something that they knew was coming 8 months ago. We are now almost 100 days into this, and they still don't have a counter message. The bravest thing they did was Cory Booker standing for 25 hours, which was simple and realistic because regular people could understand it.
Yes, but it didn't offer anything else. And one of the reasons Donald Trump's base gives him space is because they, like a lot of people say, the country's not working for me. Right. And they're giving him time because they're saying his plan might not work, but at least there's a plan. And Cory Booker did stand up, but they've yet to say, well, here's what we're going to offer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing, because it was at least understandable. I don't care who you are. Most people would understand. I wouldn't stand in line for 25 hours to get a Star Wars movie, right? When people understood, it was like, okay, this is.
I definitely wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't, right? And I'm into that stuff. But the Democrats as a whole, they don't have a message. Hakeem Jeffries doesn't have a message. Chuck Schumer doesn't have a message. I expected this from the Republican Party. I knew this is the kind of stuff they were going to do. What I'm shocked by is that the only people who seem to be talking are Bernie and AOC running around the country. And trust me, I went to their rally in Los Angeles. They're still making the same mistakes they always did, which is a crowd in downtown Los Angeles that still doesn't look any more diverse than downtown Wisconsin. That's the issue. So the first 100 days, Democrats still failing, Republicans doing what I expect.
Okay, but then I'm the naive turkey because I will say Donald Trump has been talking about tariffs for 40 years. He loves them. He wants to implement them. But I, like many other people, didn't actually think he was going to do it. If he had just taken Joe Biden's economy, did the tax cuts, deregulated so businesses would basically be able to do whatever they wanted, he would be smooth sailing because he could even take Joe Biden's economy and oversell it, which is what he does. And he could roll down to Mar-a-Lago, flog his meme coin, dance with True Social, and play golf every weekend. So for a lot of people, me included, I'm embarrassed to say, I'm surprised he went with the tariff war first.
Well, I'm surprised. It's much more on every front than I expected. I knew it was going to be bad. It's much worse. But I think, if he was a run-of-the-mill con man, who I thought he was saying if he was a run-of-the-mill politician. If he was a run-of-the-mill con man. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. If he was a run-of-the-mill con man, he would recognize at what point he could make the con work by taking the Biden economy and calling it his own, which it isn't. But there's something wrong with him. He is, I don't know what you call it, malignant narcissist, sociopath. People apply different names to.
Now he's half right. He's actually half right. Trump is, in fact, a malignant narcissist, but he's not a sociopath. He's a psychopath. Okay, sociopaths are made, psychopaths are born, and that's the difference. And Trump was born crazy. Okay, he was born mentally incompetent, in my opinion. Okay, but anyway, I digress.
To what Donald Trump, what his mental condition is, but he can't do that. He can't constrain himself in that way. And he doesn't have people around him who are inclined to constrain him or able to constrain him. He had some of that in the first term that helped him, but he doesn't have it now, and he's not controlling himself.
This is exactly what I heard from a very big investor today who voted for Donald Trump, who said one of the main issues is he really, truly has made loyalty to him his number one priority. And again, we shouldn't be surprised. Howard Lutnick said it when they were during the transition. And unlike the first term where you had a Gary Cohn or a Jared Kushner or a Steve Mnuchin, there's no one to push back on him. And Wall Street doesn't like it, but Trump loves it. So for Wall Street or for the business community, they're in the, if you choose clowns, you get a circus. The issue is the outsiders don't like it, but Trump is going, I'm down with Pete Hegseth. Every day he's just telling me how great I am and how good my hair looks.
Or with immigration, because you were talking about if he just kept Biden's economy in place, he wasn't going to keep Biden's deportation system in place, but what did he add to it? The deportations that they have added on top of this, or taking visas away from college students, the Garcia mess in El Salvador. This is something I'd add Chris Van Hollen to the list. Democrats have done something in the last week. That's the one surprise the last 100 days is that Democrats really were on their back foot about immigration, did not know how to talk about it, were terrified that it was Trump's secret sauce and it was going, and they're going to lose and everything. And he has been so hubristic, listening to Stephen Miller to speak of there are people who have an open door with him, that you've started to see a backlash on his best issue, which wouldn't have been there if they were just deporting. Here's a high profile criminal. Look at this terrible story of somebody who committed a crime. Look at this drunk driver. Look at this accused murder. They're not doing that. They're going further with a vision of just shrinking the foreign non-citizen population of the country. And they've done it in a way that has allowed Democrats to come back on a way. A week ago, even if you ask Democrats of El Salvador, they were much more divided.
They arrested a judge today who sent a defendant out a door that was in a non-public area, and they went in and arrested the judge. I think that's something that's probably satisfying to Trump, satisfying to Tom Homan. I would be very surprised if that goes over well in the current environment.
Okay, this is why this is super interesting to me, because a week ago, when we got started with the Maryland man in the prison in El Salvador, suddenly all these Wall Street guys were talking about the story to me. And I'm like, what do they care? None of these people are immigration activists. Right. But what they truly care about is the rule of law, because nobody wants to invest money and do business in a place that's being run mobster style. It's why nobody does business in Russia. And so suddenly this issue, even if Trump just rolled up super tough on the border, which Joe Biden didn't, that would have been a win for him.
Arbitrary expansions of power don't make people comfortable, right? If I don't know what you're going to do week in and week out, I'm not happy with it. Even people who are hostile and don't like people who are undocumented, don't like brown people, whatever, you don't like folks getting yanked off the street. You don't like folks being
by people with masks on and no uniforms.
And I can tell you that.
Okay, did you all hear what he just said? See, this is exactly what I've been telling you all, what I have continuously been reiterating. Okay, so when people like Jay Sanders or Get Some Business sitting up here talking about the immigrants, honey, it's not about the immigrants, okay? It's about people's human rights. It's about people's civil rights. It's about the fact that people should be afforded due process in a country where that's part of the Constitution. That's what this is all about, okay? Please pay attention and learn something, honey, okay? Please.
This because this is where it gets into the lower level, right? The TikTok world, the world of young people and under 30 who don't watch any of this and don't pay attention, you know what they're saying about immigration? They're seeing farmers say, I don't have workers here anymore. They're seeing college kids saying, oh my gosh, my roommate is afraid to write an op-ed, blah, blah, blah. They're picking this up as this is not getting rid of criminals. This is getting rid of my friends. This is getting rid of my neighbors. My pastor is talking about this.
And we're seeing it in Trump's poll numbers with young men who he crushed it with.
Exactly. When Joe Rogan is saying, hey, that's a bad idea.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And I always say this, let's not be crazy. He didn't lose Joe Rogan. Rogan is still going to vote for him. But when people start criticizing the president, him and the guys who run Barstool Sports, he's lost those people because even they think this is crazy. At some point, you're going to see a baseball player get snatched off the field in the middle of the game. And then a lot of people are going to say, oh, my gosh, this is a problem.
Okay, so anyway, honey, y'all heard that. Okay, y'all heard that. Okay, so with that all being said, let's talk about. I'm going to go to this video where hold on. I'm going to this video where they're talking about how the South Africans, even though they're qualified, they're deliberately being denied jobs and whatnot. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Leon says we're in dangerous territory. Absolutely, beloved. Okay, please pay attention. We absolutely are. Okay, here we go. Likes up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Current EE plan chooses foreigners above South Africans.
It's not choosing foreigners over South Africans. It's about also factoring our internationalization efforts. And we've got a 10% cap, as you would know. So it's not a matter of choosing South Africans, foreigners over South Africans.
So your answer is no.
My answer is I don't think.
Is that a no or yes?
No.
No. All right. Let's look at slide number 10. Let's just look at the engineering, build, environment, and IT section. Colored male, Indian male, chairperson of council, look at that there. 1.0% is permanent academic staff. No Indian female there in that entire faculty. Colored male, 1.6%. No colored female there. Foreigners, altogether, both foreign female and male, 15%. VC, colored males, Indian males, and females are South Africans. You have in that faculty alone, combined 2%. If you round it off, let's say 4%. Foreign nationals, 15%. What is the reason for that?
Honorable Member, the common reason really for it is about the skills, the internationalization plan, and the readiness to come and work within CUT or the Free State. It's really the pool that we are recruiting from. But we do not dismiss our internationalization policy and the targets there.
You know, I wish you would just be honest, VC, but it's okay. We'll continue. Do you know Professor Noluntu Mpekwa?
I haven't met her directly, yes.
Actually, it's Professor, Doctor.
Yes.
She holds a BTech, a MTech, and a PhD. Very brilliant black South African female in this country. Do you know that in 2024 she applied for the Dean of the Faculty of Engineering, both Environment and Information Technology? Do you know of that?
In 2019? No.
2024.
Oh, last year, yes.
So you do know?
Yes.
Do you confirm that this black African highly qualified professional met the requirements of this position?
The minimum requirements.
Do you agree? Do you confirm that she fulfilled the requirements?
Yes, she fulfilled the minimum requirements.
Do you confirm that she was shortlisted and interviewed?
Yes.
Could you kindly tell the country who ended up getting the job? Was it a South African or was it a foreigner?
It was an internal candidate who is a foreign national.
Sorry, BC?
A foreign national female internal candidate.
Is that a scarce skill?
Okay, so you all heard that. This woman is sitting up here. She's a whole African, honey, but discriminating against South Africans. How stupid is she? Okay, and this is what I'm talking about. Some of these corrupt African people need to be taken out of their positions, okay? All right, we need more Ibrahim Traores. Now, with that all being said, common sense and a few brain cells says, learn something, honey. When he was in court 12 times, you don't have any effing brains. Are you talking to me, honey? Are you talking to me? Because I just dropped the link. Please click it. Okay, if you're talking to the queen, honey, please click the link. I implore you to do so. Okay, you already know what happens if you don't. All right. And cam up when you do so we can see your face, honey, because who is this talking shite? Okay, so with that all being said, let's go to Mobis, the informator, this man who's talking about Ibrahim, okay, and Trump. Trump better sit down somewhere real quick. Okay. Now, I guarantee you common sense and a few brain cells, if you're talking about the queen, honey, not having any effing brains, I guarantee you're the one that doesn't have any. Okay, please pay attention because the queen knows what she's talking about, boo-boo. All right?
Donald Trump wants the military president of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, to resign or he will be arrested. Donald Trump wants to arrest Ibrahim Traore and remove him from office by all means. Why? The reason why he wants to arrest Traore is because of the tariff war between China and USA. And how does that concern Burkina Faso? You know that China is supporting Russia and Burkina Faso's president Ibrahim Traore is also supporting Russia. Now, Traore, when he became the president of Burkina Faso, he refused to work with France and chose to work with Russia, thereby cutting France from accessing the gold mines in Burkina Faso. Now, Donald Trump said that Ibrahim Traore is using the gold fields and the gold mines in Burkina Faso to enrich himself. And he said that Ibrahim Traore should be arrested immediately. But international communities of Russia, China, India, Vietnam are all supporting Ibrahim Traore and backing him up, saying he should not resign. He should not listen to Donald Trump because of what Donald Trump described as conflicts of interest. Do you think that Ibrahim Traore should resign? Donald Trump.
Okay, y'all heard that, honey, at the end of the day. Trump wants the man to resign. Of course he does, honey. He's mad because the man's protecting their damn gold that they don't deserve, and the French darn sure don't deserve, honey. And they're sitting up here trying to lie and say, oh, he's protecting the gold. They're protecting the gold for Ibrahim Traore. Oh, please sit down somewhere, okay, at the end of the day. Okay, please sit down somewhere at the end of the day. Now, is anybody going to click that link, common sense and a few brain cells? I believe you when you say that, a few brain cells. Okay, you're not going to click that link. Okay. Well, you know how that goes. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, likes up. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, for those of you who are mad, well, you know what to do. Okay, now let's go to this video right here because, honey, Trump is going to tell y'all how he really feels about people who look like me. Here it is right here.
The Congo has just released a lot of people from jail. Congo, Africa, just released a lot of people from their prisons and jails and brought them into the United States of America. This is what's happening to our country, and it's not sustainable by anyone.
Okay. Did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? Okay. Cookie said we're waiting for the link to be clicked, honey. You know how that goes. Just scared, say you're scared. That's all I'm saying. Okay, so anyway, honey, yeah, you see how Trump gets down? Now he's sitting there talking about these prisoners from the Congo have been released into the United States. Now you all know that that's a lie, right? You all know that that's an absolute nefarious lie. Prisoners from the Congo in the United States, no. Okay, this is nothing more than propaganda. And I'm going to tell y'all something. You better pay attention, because if they're trying to say that prisoners from the Congo, who look like us, by the way, have been released into the United States, don't you think they'll go around and start locking up people who look like us and trying to act like they think that we're from the Congo? Honey, please, if y'all don't pay attention, honey, I implore you, if you don't do anything else, please pay attention to the dangerousness of Trump and his rogue administration, okay? Please pay attention. Consider this broadcast your lifelines, okay? And by the way, speaking of lifelines, make sure that you're collecting your water. You should all be purchasing water every time you go to the grocery store. You can never have too much. You need to also be getting your non-perishable food items, okay? Don't forget at the end of the day, because it's going down. I'm going to tell y'all right now, the US of A is going to be under attack. Okay, pretty soon, pay attention. If Trump keeps doing what he's doing, and I expect that he will, we're going to be under attack. Okay, I'm talking about cyber attacks. I'm talking about the power grid going out. I'm talking about all kinds of shenanigans. And at the end of the day, we already are struggling. So y'all better be paying attention and getting your houses in order and getting together with your neighbors and seeing who you can barter with for the things that you may not have, honey, and they need. Okay? Remember that movie that was produced by Barack and Michelle Obama? And yes, I said Obama. Leave the World Behind. Yeah, that's going to be us in a minute, honey. It's going to be looking just like that. And I am not even joking. Now, mind you, 2 days ago, I've already told you all that they had 19 assassination attempts on Ibrahim Traore. But with that all being said, honey, they just had a coup. They tried to perform a failed coup just a couple of days ago. So let's get into that.
Les ennemis du peuple, militaires pourris.
This is what a true people's revolution looks like. And it's only just begun. No matter the attempts to destabilize, one thing is certain. The land of upright men is done bowing. These statements can be seen how in the wake of a thwarted coup attempt, Burkina Faso citizens have demonstrated remarkable unity and resilience, leading to widespread public mobilization in support of national sovereignty and leadership. Citizen vigils and protests have erupted across the country, with people from all walks of life rallying behind the vision of a self-reliant and united Burkina Faso. This collective action underscores the nation's determination to resist external interference and uphold its democratic values. Have a listen and remain determined. This is Uplifting Africa. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, patriotic comrades, brotherly people of Mali, Niger, and Africa, friends of freedom, sovereignty, and revolution. We are gathered in this unwavering faith in the night of oppression. This breath that nourishes our steps on the path comes from dignity regained. Betrayed but never, and more particularly with the valiant people of Mali, who have been waging a heroic and historic struggle for their full and complete sovereignty for more than 15 years. We denounce with the utmost firmness the act of unspeakable aggression perpetrated in where a Malian drone was shot down by the Algerian army. This is a betrayal, an insult to African fraternity, an act of state terrorism masked under the guise of false neutrality. Nigerian authorities, listen carefully. The Confederation of Sahel States is one people, one space, one destiny. It does not subdivide between docile countries and free countries. It is on the march, and no imperialist or local accomplice will be able to bar the way of determined peoples. History is being written, and it will severely judge those who have chosen the side of the enemy. The present conference is also an opportunity to sound the alarm. The enemies of sovereignty have not disarmed, have not laid down their arms. They reactivate their local relays. Corrupt puppets work in the shadows to sabotage the revolutionary momentum of the Burkinabe people. But let them know this. The people are no longer fooled. Under the clear-sighted leadership of Comrade Captain Ibrahim Traore, our people have taken back their destiny. In just 2 years, the foundations of a free and prosperous Burkina have been firmly laid. Yes, the people responded massively to the call of April 1st. The progressive popular revolution is here. It is the cry of a people standing tall. The oath of a future is forged, the breath of a new Africa.
Voilà, vous baissez un peu les papiers, ça cache le visage. Merci.
And yet, internal traitors persist. Just last week, another attempted destabilization targeted our country, Burkina Faso, with the ignoble aim of assassinating Comrade Captain Ibrahim Traore. But once again, the Republican Army, through its intelligence service, faithful to the people, professionally and firmly neutralized the actors of this misfortune. To these conspirators, with their deceitful language, their ragged clothes, and their bloody hands, we say, never again. The people will no longer retreat, and every being will bear the weight of their betrayal. Homeland or death, we shall overcome. The moment is grave. The moment is historic. We call on every Burkinabe, every patriot, every vigilant citizen, every soldier, every VDP to rise up, to resist, to be vigilant, for the enemy is everywhere.
The best way to attract high-ticket coaching clients is not to spend all your time and money on social media.
But the light is within us. We repeat with force, our determination, nourished by the living spring of the revolution. The volunteer committed to freedom and peace in the nocturnal and salutary energy of August 4th had not only weapons in hand, but also and above all the flame in their hearts to legitimately liberate Faso forever from all those who, here and there, pollute the sacred soul of independence and sovereignty. Yes, this flame is alive, burning, irrepressible. Our commitment is total. Our loyalty to the people is sacred. Our struggle is just. Homeland or death, we shall overcome. And we shall march alongside Mali, Niger, and all the free peoples of the continent until final victory. Long live the National Coordination of Active Citizen Associations. Long live the Confederation of Sahel States. Long live the Defense and Security Forces of Faso. Long live the Defense and Security Forces of Faso. Long live the sovereign Burkinabe people. Homeland or death, we shall see over there. Thank you, comrades. Before we continue, if you love what we do here on this channel and would like to support us, Then you might consider gifting us a super thanks donation of any amount, or you might as well become an uplifting Africa Channel member for exclusive content, perks, and more. Links to join are in the pinned comment and in the description box. You see, just like you have heard them, you just cannot destabilize a people who refuse to kneel. They're not playing, they're not begging, and they're definitely not backing down. The people of Burkina Faso have made up their minds. And when a nation stands as one, you'd be a fool to think you can shake it. From the capital to the smallest village, every Burkinabe is a warrior now. In today's Burkina Faso, the soldier isn't just the man with a uniform. It's the grandmother who stands at the roundabout at 8 a.m. It's the child waving the flag. It's the entire population standing guard over their future. This is not chaos. This is clarity. Under President Ibrahim Traore, Burkina Faso has become a symbol of African resistance, not just for itself, but for the entire continent. The people have embraced vigilance as a daily duty. National unity has taken shape not as some abstract slogan, but as real flesh and blood mobilization. The enemy is clear: imperialism, manipulation, and those foreign and local agents who dream of dragging the country back into dependence. But they're too late. From the top to the grassroots, the call for sovereignty is louder than fear. The country is no longer willing to tolerate interference, no matter how well packaged. And when the people rise, not in violence, but in purpose, there's no force strong enough to hold them back. Burkina Faso is standing, and it's not standing alone. It stands for a liberated Africa, one borderless, united, and ready to decide its own future. No matter the attempts to destabilize, one thing is certain: the land of upright men is done bowing. This is what a true people's revolution looks like, and it's only just begun. Please support our effort to scout the internet and bring forth uplifting updates.
I want you all to pay attention. You all heard everything that man said, okay? Africa is about to have a, Burkina Faso, shall I say, is about to have a whole revolution, honey. They're not playing games. And I know somebody said they're not mad enough. Oh, baby, they're mad. They're beyond mad. In fact, you see, the thing of it is they're thinking. Okay, and the most dangerous person when they're angry, or the most dangerous people when they're angry, is those who are calm. Those who are calm, because that's how you know that they're using logic and critical thinking, honey. Because people who get all crazy and irate and acting outlandish ways and are belligerent, they're not thinking logically. Notice how when you get angry and you go off on somebody or whatever, and then later on you think about something you should or could have said, that's because you're so angry. You're not thinking. Okay, you're not thinking logically sometimes. So you just say things or whatever. But at the end of the day, honey, when it's people that are calmly telling you what the hell they're about to do, that they're about to rise up, that it's about to be a revolution, and that they're not bowing down, bending, or breaking, and that they want all the smoke, when they can sit there and tell you that in a 9.5-minute speech and calmly tell you that with no curse words or no threats or anything, just telling you what it is, honey, you better pay attention, okay? That's what you better do. Because these people are not playing. And like DSB said, they mad as hell. Okay? Thank you for your insight, beloved, and your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay? And with that all being said, there might be a global revolution. And here's the thing. The way these people have stood up and united and have formed a united front at the end of the day, ready, okay, to protect and defend all of themselves, all of their people, from the grandmother to the children holding the flags, like you said. Honey, y'all need to get on that type of time, Black people in America. Y'all need to get on that type of time. Y'all need to be ready to protect and defend yourselves no matter what situation is going on. Stand up for your rights. Be out there and take to the streets if you got to. Some of y'all love to protest, but at the end of the day, we need to be united just like those people are. Okay, Black people always hating on each other, always taking other Black people out, just doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Y'all need to love one another, stand together, and unify. And know, honey, at the end of the day, we are all we got, okay? And that's on box. So for any fools who are still sitting up here talking about, oh, we're not worried about the immigrants. I didn't ask you to worry about the immigrants. I told you to worry about your damn self and worry about your people and worry about the fact that we got a rogue president in the office, and we got a rogue administration in the White House, and we got a rogue government acting as gangsters. Okay, did y'all notice that the lady in the news reporter, that she even likened them to the mafia? She called them gangsters or something along those lines. I've been telling y'all this for months. Okay, you heard it here first. So now everything I've told you is finally unfolding. Okay, and I've told you no lies. So when ignorant fools come in here talking about I don't have no brains, I don't know what I'm talking about, baby, the only person you're making look like a fool is your damn self, because everything I have been saying is now in effect right here, okay, in our faces in real time. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, if you don't like the Queen's talking points, that's just too bad. You don't have to tune in. Now, Reggie said, I saw Reggie quoted Ecclesiastes 7:7 and saying, surely oppression maketh a wise man mad. Absolutely. That's what I always tell you all. And a gift destroyeth the heart. Okay, so please pay attention. And with that all being said, somebody in the chat said something about pyramids. I can't remember exactly what they said, but they were talking about, it was Jamal. Jamal said something about the pyramids. Hold on. Let me see if I can find that comment, beloved. Anyway, here's the thing. Jamal said Black Americans don't want any smoke anymore. Yeah, that's what it looks like, okay? Like all the scared ones, like we got a bunch of scared to death Negroes, like the minister said. But at the end of the day, honey, y'all better wake up and quit, because you don't have much time, okay? Now, with that all being said, another thing is this. Speaking of the pyramids, y'all know they got pyramids in the United States, right? Okay, they got pyramids in the United States. The Trans-America Pyramid is in San Francisco, in case you didn't know it. It's a well-known architectural structure, okay? And then you got other pyramids, other true pyramids in the United States, like the Luxor Hotel in Las Vegas, okay? The Memphis Pyramid in Memphis, Tennessee, the Walter Pyramid in Long Beach, California. I'm just saying. Additionally, they said also something about some pre-Columbian earthwork pyramids, right? Like the Monk's Mound somewhere in Illinois, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So please pay attention. All right. So anyway, with that all being said, I love you all to life. Okay. I hope you all got something out of this broadcast. Juju says, I hate when one of our people says, are Black people so mad? I just look like you fool. Okay. At the end of the day, honey, we need to be mad. Okay, Jamal said older than Africa. That's what you said, beloved. Exactly. Jamal said they got pyramids older than Africa. Okay. So with that all being said, listen, I love you all to life. Okay, enjoy the rest of this night, and I will see you all tomorrow. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I want to tell you all before I roll up out of here? I don't think I left anything out, but anyway, listen. Okay, yeah, I love you all to life. I hope you enjoy the rest of this evening. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Okay, and until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
With that gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my soul. circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin? God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got